And let's have pizza in the best Napolitan.
Yeah, let's reserve already. Let's book to Casa di Pepe. I started my PhD in Italy.
Like you're speaking English, French, Italian?
Maybe four, because Portuguese.
Portuguese.
We approach to try to find a pattern that defines one specific cancer. You can publish on different journals, which would be a more generic journal about oncology or about health. They think French thinks they have a good coffee, relatively good, but
not.
No.
Hello guys, and welcome to Tell Me Panda YouTube channel about study and careers abroad. Today in Tell Me Panda Talks, we have special guest Gaetano. He's a scientist, cancer and immunotherapy researcher. He did his career in Italy and France, and today we'll talk about cancer, about research career, about also cultural shocks like Italian living in France. So if you're interested, watch this video till the end. Hi Gaetano, thank you very much
Elina.
for coming to my channel.
Thank you to you for giving me this opportunity to present myself and talk to people about
I think it's super important topic, and especially like a scientist like in cancer and immunotherapy topic. So I'd like to know more about your background.
Okay.
So first, like why did you come to France?
Okay.
So I know that you started your studies in Italy, and also why science, why cancer and immunotherapy topic? How did you choose? So tell us.
I started actually how I came in France. I can answer with one specific and direct answer, which is my project. It's the science that brought me a little bit here towards France, because I started my PhD in Italy. I was passionate about molecular biology, about the mechanism of how our biology works when there is a problem, when there are disease, in particular where there is cancer. And then these allow me to perform a PhD, to do a PhD in Italy, in Naples at the University of Federico II, where I had the opportunity then to spend a period of time of up to 6 months abroad. So I found myself a collaboration based on my project with an abroad group, an abroad laboratory. And among these, there was one that was really interesting, that was based in Nice, at the Centre Méditerranée de C3M in Nice. It's an INSERM center. And there, so I postulated to go there. So I went there. I spent a period of time there of 6 months, and it was very enriching. So because it was my project followed by other scientists which had new skills, so additional skills that just added other things to my original project in Italy. So starting from this, I had the possibility to communicate with a lot of scientists, and among these there was a scientist that was becoming a researcher, principal investigator, so founding his own team here in Paris, where I'm based now. And so in the foundation of this team, he just proposed me to continue my career. So with this project, which was very related to, with my project that was very related to his project here in Paris, so in its group of research. So that's why I joined this group. It was very interesting. The project was something that I really liked.
And the project was in French or in English?
Was everything in research is quite English.
Okay. But that time you spoke already French when you came to France? Because today you are like 3 languages, right?
Yes.
Like you're speaking English, French, Italian.
Maybe 4, because
even 4?
Portuguese.
Portuguese as
a
well.
Little bit,
Wow, okay.
I'm trying.
Okay, does it help like in scientific world?
It helps in terms of networking, in terms of working in a group where there are people not English speaking, but I can say that there is absolutely no problems for people that cannot speak or can't understand French and who work as a researcher in the research field in France. It's completely... It's amazing. So it's very good.
So Gaetano, tell me more about your postdoc experience. How did it go in France?
Okay, I would say that with research, I will never use the term typical day or typical, hopefully, because it's always like there are different things happening at every moment. We have to change plans and to try to follow a mainstream project and then try to collaborate with other people and try to integrate data together, integrate skills. So it's always a intercommunicative field. So you go in the lab and then you start to collaborate with, I don't know, bioinformaticians. I don't know anything about bioinformatics, so I have the help of bioinformaticians, with people that are more technical or on a biological field. And so, the research, how does it work? It works in nowadays is going in one direction. There is always this approach to big screening. So we approach to try to find a pattern that defines one specific cancer. So we have tools to sophisticated tools, I'll say, even expensive, that in France here it's possible to have. In Paris, especially, the research on this field is very advanced. So there are tools that allows you to give a face to different tumors, for example, a face which are like molecules that are expressed by tumoral cells, for example. And this allows you to understand if there are oncogenes, so genes that are for pro-tumoral or genes that kills the tumor that are affected in the specific cancer. And once we find this, we try to understand how does it work, putting this gene or depleting this gene. And then we try to understand if there is kind of a future application for drugs discovery.
If I understood correctly, is that when you start to research, so you have a special goal, like within this huge field, and at the end of this research, so you come to some conclusions. Is it possible to come, or probably at the end of, I don't know, like 2-3 years, you say like we didn't manage, like in business we have KPIs, so we set a goal, then we like have some results, how it works in science, and how do you measure like success of research?
Actually, it may happen that at the end of the research you don't find the result that you were expecting, but I will say that even a negative result is very helpful, because it can say to other groups, don't go this way, so they will not do the same mistake. People are very attentive to the nowadays research. They will. Did
it happen to you to say like, okay, actually?
At the end, it never happens totally, like because you find a different way to find a solution to all the effort that you put in a project. So you try to understand whether there is another discovery that you can take out from this research. So it's a bit difficult in research that you do not discover something interesting, at least. Then it can be more or less impactful. And to go back to your question about how do you evaluate the grade of success of different research, we can say that there are you can publish your research and you can publish on different journals, which would be a more generic journal about oncology or about health. Then you can publish on more specific oncology papers. So different reviews that has different, fortunately or unfortunately, there are different impact factors for these reviews. So if you publish on Nature, you did a very big discovery that Nature took you in consideration. But then there are so many very big discoveries also on little journals, because there are so much now. So I would say that mostly we are kind of reporters in research. We are kind of journalists. We take photos inside the cells. So we report what's happening wrong and we try to publish on the journal. And
I saw on LinkedIn you have quite many articles published, right?
Yeah, but at the moment, yes. Yeah. It's like around 6, 7, no more. Yeah.
Okay. And how do you feel like, is it like, okay, I publish an article, so it means like, it's a step that I accomplished, so like now I can go further, like, or just article, it's necessary for all scientists and it's just something you have to do?
I would say that it's a mix. So you use somehow this concept of preparing an article to try to find your research, and then this research can also finish can also end up to be published in a patent for a kind of application in patients or in patients. So on one side we can publish this as a patent if we do a discovery about drugs, some solution, or if it's just a basic research, we can publish it. So it's both sides. So once you finish the paper, we don't abandon the subject. We keep it, and then we can continue in a different way to try to apply now to someone. We can sell it to some industry. The industry can create some drugs on that, or they take it directly.
That's great. Yeah. But by the way, talking about industry, so now you're working in private sector.
Yes.
Can you explain how did you come and how did you construct this bridge from postdoc research and to working in a private company?
Okay, first of all, the bridge was in my head. So I wanted
It was a plan.
It was planned, but it was planned towards the end of my research in academy. It was my kind of normal flux. So I wanted to shift from something that was as I say, basic research that can finish in a paper and then in the future, very far future, maybe be applied to patients. But then my goal was to, this point I got the technical skills, I got the knowledge. I wanted to go a bit narrower to the patients, to the application, try to put my research skills at the service of patients more directly. So I wanted to approach to a place where I could, figurative place where I could they could use my research skills. I can provide my research skills to find solutions for patients with cancer. So the bridge, how I did that, I did that by first of all, in research, actually in industry, the cutting edge now for cancer is immunotherapy. There are a lot of for cancer. There are a lot of solutions that are based on redirecting the immunity system, our immunity system, towards our tumor. Thing that we can think about today. And I was looking for different companies doing this thing. But I realized I didn't have a great preparation in immunology, so I had to pass towards another period of postdoctoral fellowship, which I performed at the Université de Paris Diderot, University of Paris Diderot. And there I had a kind of implementation of these skills in immuno-oncology. And these during this pathway, I postulated for different companies until the moment that one company called me, to which I was not postulating, but I didn't know about the existence of this company. They called me and we did the interview and everything went very well. I must say that it helped me also that during this period I was improving a lot my way of presenting myself. Now, when you are in academy, you just present yourself with a very long curriculum. You have almost a list. I did this, I published this and that. There is the big list. And then here I just compressed everything, like giving an image very quickly with a lot of figure and pictures of what I was doing in a very figurative, very, I don't know how to say.
This is super important, so that your future employer understand exactly what can you bring to company, what are your core skills, but it's not easy. Working with lots of clients, I see people doing a great career and with a very diverse background, but you have also to put yourself, especially when you have less than 10 years of career in front on one page and CV, it's not that easy actually.
Yeah, not at all.
But it's very helpful, and especially to do this transition from scientific and research field to private sector.
Yeah.
But now, do you feel like with your current job, you can make even greater impact like on people's life? Is it your motivation, or probably you have some other motivation?
Two sides. I changed a little bit topic, and so I went to immunotherapy, and then the other thing is this actually that I wanted from the beginning to have a higher impact on patients. So I really believe in this society of today. I really believe they are having a very good approach, very good solutions for curing cancer, maybe in the very near future. And on the other side, there is the stimulation, mind stimulation that gives me more brainstorming about new topics. It's a different topic. It's a different cancers. Is a wider span range of cancers. So I'm really glad to have the possibility to try to help the maximum that I can with my skills, hopefully.
Yeah,
but then I'm not Einstein of cancer or anything. So, but I'm happy to put even my little drop of in this big ocean.
Gaetano, can you explain, please, to people who are not very familiar, who are not scientists, like what's happening today with this research in cancer and immunotherapy? Like, I know it's huge progress, but we're not always aware about it, and people very often they say, and we still don't know how to cure cancer. Yeah. So can you please explain, like in very simple words, what's happening like in this domain and what is to be done in years to come?
So I think, as I was anticipating before, we did great progress in terms of immunotherapy. First of all, I would like to say that there is no one cure for cancer. So there is not a magic drug that we discover and then we keep it, or the industrial pharmaceutical keep for them. Because cancer, it's very different. It's various. When we talk about cancer, we talk about different kinds of cancer. We can have blood cancers, which are completely different by solid tumors of lungs or liver, things like that. So on different organs. And so if we find a cure for some specific subset of cancer of one specific organ, that means we find a cure for everyone. And the thing is that now what is more, so each cancer has its own face. We can imagine that his own face with the specific fingerprints, let's say. So we are trying to look for specific fingerprints, how it looks like, and if to take to cure a specific cancer or a specific person, because there are approaches which are called personalized medicine. So which approach to personalized medicine. So each person can have a different cancer with different specific face. So it's big screening and targeted therapy and immunotherapy. These are the three things to break home, the take-home message.
Yeah. Thank you very much for sharing this. And is it possible to do something like to prevent cancer? I mean, like an ordinary person who doesn't have, for example, if there is no cancer in the family, or there were some cancer in the family, or it's something that we cannot control.
Depends on the kind of cancer, but there are more and more evidence than, for example, alimentation, and even the ambient in which we live. So the air pollution and everything. Of course, it impacts cells and impacts especially what we are finding now in science is that epigenetics can be impacted. So it's not genetic itself; it's not the DNA directly, but how the DNA is fold inside the cell, and these can create then alteration inside the DNA after. So and each tumor has its own way to be prevented. So it's very difficult to say how we can prevent, but for sure we should not try to do things that can somehow gain the cancer. Provoke the cancer. For sure. And the other thing, if it's genetic, we have some cancers that can be based on one single mutation or two mutation double hit. So it depends on the type of cancer. But if we are genetically predisposed, I mean, for sure there is a higher risk, and it doesn't mean that this person will have cancer, but it would be more.
But should we do some tests? For example, if someone in the family has a cancer or had a cancer, like should go, for example, to a laboratory and to do some tests to at least to know what's happening with our bodies, everything is okay or not?
Yeah, it depends, especially for some specific cancer, like for breast cancer. There are some genes that have been discovered that can be a mutation that can be transmitted. So stem cells. So these can be diagnosed in the parental component, but the thing is that the doctors, they know how to. They will give you the message if this cancer needs to be controlled in other parts of the family, and then to not be skeptical about what they want to do about research, because I know there is a big part of people that can be even skeptical just to give blood for research, and I can totally understand. I totally respect that. But for in terms of diagnosis, it's very important to try to give material and. Yeah, and then one thing that I would like to underline is that most of the time cancers are not genetically transmitted. It's not that if you have a member in your family with cancer, you should panic, but you should control which kind of cancer is it. You should communicate to the doctor the kind of cancer. If you had someone in your family that has unfortunately a specific cancer, try to investigate which kind of cancer is it, communicate to the doctor, and then follow the instruction of the doctor about what to do to diagnose ourselves.
That is super important if we want to be responsible, like for our life and for our health. So it's better to take a consultation with doctor to explain what happened in the family, and at least to be aware and to have a control.
To classify very well the type of cancer, if it's related to genetics or not. And even if it's not, it depends. There are different factors that can be not genetics, but
topic and talking about your life in France, in Paris. How do you feel about it? Did you feel like you had to integrate? Because for me, for example, it's been 9 years I'm in Paris. So I went through all the steps of integration, like learning language, looking for a job, getting visa, getting my nationality, etc.
Getting a good coffee.
Getting a good coffee, and having great food, etc. So for me, the story was not that smooth. So I had struggles and some very difficult periods, like when I lost my visa, I had to apply and to go back to France, etc. You told me that at the beginning your story was quite smooth in terms of language, in terms of your studies, etc. What happened after? So do you still feel like your life in France was and is comfortable, or not always? Tell me more about this part of integrating.
So I must say it was quite smooth, my entering in France as well, because I was guided by the CNRS where I was working, and then they just addressed me to a place where to live at the beginning. So this is the most difficult thing that you can have in Paris, not in France, but I can talk for Paris. It's complicated, it depends on the period. I was coming in June. So June is a good period to come in Paris. You have
Fête de la Musique.
Not for that. Not only for that. I always find my houses. In June. I had two change of houses, but in June you have people going away, so you can have more opportunity to find a place. And then there is Fête de la Musique, which is a music festival, 21 of June. It's an amazing fête. Party festival.
It's interesting because you said also it's important to find a good coffee. It's a special topic, I think, because you're Italian, right?
Real problem.
So, and that's why also having different guests from different countries on my YouTube channel. I like to ask this question about cultural shocks.
If I like your coffee.
I even don't want
It's nice. By the way, it's very nice.
I don't pretend to be to have a
come to the
Actually, I felt stress, like welcoming Italian friends at my place and offering them coffee. So like, okay, will I be judged or not? But I mean, like coming from different cultural background, we have different cultural shocks in France. For example, for some people like coming from countries without lots of bureaucracy, so this is a huge cultural shock. But some people come from countries and their home, like it's the same. So they say, okay, actually it feels like home. Some people, I don't know, for example, when I came to France, I didn't know the concept of apéro, so I was like, guys, like, I want to eat. Why? Like apéro? Why drinking? Like I want to have dinner, So what are your cultural shocks? What were your cultural shocks as far as also like countries like Italy and France very close? Or did you feel this competition? Because I guess like Italians are the only nation that French, they can accept having this, bataille and this like conversation about which cuisine is better.
Yeah, that's what I was about.
I think you're the only country because like other countries like, okay, we already lost. So tell me what happened to you?
One biggest shock was crème fraîche.
Crème fraîche?
Yes.
What's wrong with crème fraîche?
It's you don't do carbonara with. You just put eggs, just the red of eggs with the pecorino cheese. It's not even parmesan.
Yeah.
It's not even parmigiano, and you just do a mix of this sauce, and then you prepare your carbonara. Otherwise, it's not a carbonara. It's very good with crème fraîche. I must say that it's very good. Okay. I like it. Sometimes I want this, and I was preparing this also in Italy sometimes, but it was other thing, macaroni con la panna. But here the shocks apart from carbonara.
And good coffee. Is it difficult to find
coffee?
Good coffee?
It's very difficult. I mean, French thinks they have a good.
Yes.
Coffee, relatively good, but
not.
No, it's like we didn't taste in Italy. If an Italian also tastes a Brazilian coffee, let's say, I mean, there is always a better coffee in the world. Don't take it serious. Don't take it.
Okay.
It's not against French, but then the other thing is the separation of the toilet.
Okay. Why?
Because you have like the toilets, the real toilet, and then you have the bathroom.
You mean in apartments?
Yeah,
okay. Okay, in Italy everything is like
everything is only one. Yeah.
Okay.
This is just to make a joke, but then I don't know about the language. I mean, can be a bit strict in the real life if you cannot talk English, French. The English is not like always very well accepted, but this happens also.
So you feel this pressure that in France we have to speak French?
You have to, as soon as possible, speaking in French, but because they will look at you in a different way.
That's true. That I confirm, yeah.
I don't know if it's a bad or a good thing, but it's like
but both. I think like when you just arrive and you don't feel comfortable and you feel like you're very different because you don't speak French fluently, etc. But at the same time, it pushes you to learn language because I know like people living in other countries and they speak in English and they didn't learn another language, and like you speak 4 languages, right? So so it's like it's super rich. I mean, like it lets you to talk to different people in their mother tongue language. So yeah, but I know this pressure. Yeah. So, but still it's pressure.
It can be a selection sometimes. Yeah. Negative selection.
And cuisine.
I must say that since I arrived, I think the Napolitan people followed me because since I arrived in 2017, I've seen that there was an increase of these Italian restaurants and not only Napolitan pizzeria here in Paris. So if you want to eat a good pizza as a Napolitan, I'm saying this is a serious message. So as a Napolitan, I must say that in France, the Napolitan pizzeria are increasing more and more. And you can eat a very good pizza here from Napolitan pizzeria. I don't know if the water, there is the story in Italy that the water impacts the coffee. The origin of the water has to be from Naples because otherwise the coffee and the pizza is different. I'm not sure because the pizza is very, very near to the Napolitan one. I will say the same, but I don't want to offend Napolitan, but they will. But try before.
Would you share just one or two addresses? Like we can try.
One that I really love is Obermama.
Okay.
It's it's a very important group. And then another that has a very big reputation, which I'm going to taste very soon in these days. It's da Pepe. So it's a Napolitan that won actually the concours as the best pizza in the world.
Wow.
First place, something.
Wow.
Yeah.
I should definitely try it.
Yeah. Pepe. Casa di Pepe, I think. Yeah.
We'll have some links here.
Yeah.
Perfect. And what would be your recommendation or like your piece of advice to those students who are aspired to do scientific career, like to become researchers and also like to make a difference in this world, like in cancer, immunology, or probably some other like topics related to medicine? What would be your advice?
I think we need to understand why we like the research we are doing. So either we are doing this for devotion, for a specific devotion, that is a personal intention to try to cure a cancer, for example, or if we are passionate in terms of mechanistically understand biology and everything. So in both cases, I think you can have clear ideas if you see yourself like someone that wants to explore and be in basics, or someone that wants to explore and go in more applied science. So I give an advice to try to look always to the two worlds, so the academic and the industry, and understand if, for example, for some people it can be stressing to try to publish a paper, but can be less stressing to work in a group. And when you work in a company, there might be a different kind of competition that there is in the company. The one in academic is more related to yourself. You should build yourself, your own paper, your research, and everything, and the other in the company, you collaborate a bit more with the people to try to follow the same project. You can interchange, you can have a lot of shift, you change project at some point, direction, you are more dynamic. You can, in an industry, you can even evolve in a different way. You can, if you don't like, for example, just the scientific aspect of the thing, and you want also manage other things of the company, if it's a little company, it's a very good bridge between academic and the company, because you can be a researcher and be occupied in plenty of other things inside the little startup, for example. So as advice, I would say try to have a clear idea, talk with people that work in academic for a long time, relatively good amount of time, and people that work in industry, and you will have the explanation how they are organized and everything. This clarified a lot my ideas about industry, because I was really scared. I was like, industry, they are fabricating things, but it's actually very easy. It's very sectoral. Each person has his own role, and if it's a little one, you can have more. Yeah,
I think like it's super important to talk to people who already like a medical career, and also like to try to see whether it works for you or not, because you think like you want to do one thing, but in reality you discover that probably you have some different preferences. That's a great advice. So you told me that a part of your scientific career, like you also have lots of hobbies, different passions.
Which are very related, even if people think every time, why are you doing also that if you're a scientist? I'm also doing photography.
Wow.
And photography, I'm doing street photography. So I take pictures on the street of situations of everyday life, and portraiture. So people that sometimes want to have portrait, I have fun to do that.
Do you publish your photos?
Sometimes, yes, sometimes. And so the message I would like to send about this is you should not abandon your passions for your job. So I'm always doing that when there is time for working and time for doing your to cultivate your passions. And the link for me of photography was actually I like to explore. I'm a reporter in science, and I'm a reporter in the from the micro world to the macro world, which is human. So I always try to find disease of society, for example. So I try to photograph society. So it's always a big deformation of my job, but I think it's very important to detach from the work.
To also to have hobbies, to find some inspiration. I think it gives you lots of energy also for work.
Yeah.
Okay, and especially if you feel like there is something like you told you're a reporter, so you can be like reporter in science and write articles. You can report and watch people, you know, like in the city and society, etc. So actually, it's the same part of you, but just with different context and different focus.
Different focus, I would say. Different lens, different focus. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Gaetano, for this conversation. I hope you guys are inspired as much as I am. And we wish luck to everyone who wants to pursue academic career, and probably not only academic, but also in private sector. So thank you very much for these insights and like talking about this serious topic, like as cancer. Actually, it's my first time talking to a scientist about this. So really appreciate it. And let's have pizza in the best Napolitan.
Let's reserve already. Let's book to Casa di Pepe. Right.
Yeah. So guys, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and let us know in the comments whether you have some questions or you get some inspiration. And see you soon in my next videos. Bye-bye.
Bye.